Hi, this is Lisamarie Costabile for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth, and today I'm with the amazing guitar player, Nili Brosh.
Hey.
And we've been trying to get her on the show, but she's been so busy. She's played with the likes of Tony MacAlpine and many other amazing artists, and thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yay.
Yay.
Finally you made it. So your name, I love your name. Is that
Thanks.
a stage name, or were you born with that name?
Definitely not a stage name,
Okay.
although I
Your parents?
guess it's not heard enough so it can work.
Okay.
I'm Israeli. I was born in Israel, and it's an Israeli name of not many people my generation are named that,
Okay.
but it's actually an acronym.
Okay.
It was the name of an underground brigade type group that helped Israel become an independent state. So
Okay.
yeah, but I was named after a person who was named after that.
Okay.
Whatever, long story.
And so obviously, well, you were born there, and when did you move here?
My family moved to the U.S. when I was 12.
Okay. With a guitar? Were you playing the guitar over there?
I
or-
was playing a little bit. I was taking lessons since I was very young. But you know how most 7-year-old kids are not going to be serious about, the
Right.
lessons that they take. So I knew the basics. I could read a little bit, and I played some open chords and bar chords and stuff like that. But it was actually right around the time that we moved that I was really getting into music and wanted to play electric guitar.
Oh, wow. And so back then, when you were 7, was your dad a musician, your mom, or?
So one of my older brothers is also a professional guitar player.
Okay.
And his name is Ethan Brosh, and I wanted to be like him. And I was always running around the house singing and whatever, and I really liked music. So there was a day I remember that my mom took me to the local conservatory where they gave me this call and response test where they'll play a rhythm and you have to repeat the rhythm, and they basically wait until they stump you. And then I remember the guy had this he listed off instruments that he thought I'd be good at. And I remember that the second that he got to guitar, I just stopped listening because I was like, I know, that's what I want to do. I want to be like my big brother. So
that's neat.
so yeah.
So when you were 7 back in Israel, who were you listening to? Who were your guitar gods and influences?
Well, when I was 7, I wasn't listening to guitar music. But I guess at that age, I was listening to a lot of the music that was around the house from my older brothers and stuff. So they listened to a lot of Queen and Pink Floyd and that kind of thing. But my brother, being a guitar player, he listened to a lot of guitar music. So that's how I got into Extreme, which is still my favorite band. But I think I got into them when I was around 11. And that was really what made me want to play electric guitar.
Right. I remember running into you at the Generation X tour, and I think I saw you talking to Nuno.
Yeah.
How was that? He's really
awesome. He was so cool.
He's a nice guy.
I mean, I'd met him many times, but it was mostly as little kid fan chasing them around Boston.
I think a lot of people, when they meet Nuno, it's like that.
Yeah.
They want to chase him around. But he is amazing. And what for female guitar players, do you have any influences when you were growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, I didn't know of any, but of course, today
once you came over,
we have so many great players, Gretchen Menn is a great one, Anita Strauss, of course, and we have so many great people now that are doing amazing things, and it's really inspiring.
So you growing up having heroes, I'm sure you inspire little girls. If my daughter was here, she'd be running around saying, Daddy, take me to get a guitar. What would you say to aspiring, especially female? It's hard to have a female break into the guitar world, I think.
Yeah, I think somebody once told me that if you just take care of the music and the rest will kind of take care of itself. And it might not be an all-encompassing true statement because, of course, in the entertainment world, there are so many other things to think about. But I think at least in the beginning, if you're doing it for the right reasons, the rest will hopefully come together. Because if you're not doing it for that reason, you may as well not be doing it. So you definitely want to start there.
Right, for the love and the passion.
Yeah, you want to keep your priorities on, why are you playing music in the first place? Hopefully it's because of music. So.
And do you feel, I know you went to Berkeley, that's pretty amazing.
Thanks.
Congrats for graduating and finishing and moving on to bigger and better things. But do you think kids at home need to go to music school?
I don't think anybody really needs it. It's a great school and I love the experience, but I think if you are not as fortunate as I was to be able to go to such a school, I don't think it's going to hold you back. There's anything that you want to learn, there's so much information out there and so many avenues of how to get it, and you can meet so many people now through the internet, and, you know, all the same concepts still apply. So it's just one way to do it. And I know that a lot of people who go to Berklee still supplement with all the other ways anyway, so it's just one way to do it.
Right. So your family came to LA from Israel.
To Boston.
Oh, you went to Boston. Okay.
Yeah, my family still lives in Boston.
Oh,
we moved to Boston.
okay.
That's where I grew up.
Okay.
And then
That's
I came
good
out
to
here.
know. You know
Yeah.
I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
And
Are you?
I am.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I am.
How have we not had this conversation?
I don't know. I mean, when I interviewed Philip Bino a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the Boston vibe, and I guess that's why the whole Nuno. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
So-
because when we moved, I was like, as you know, a 12-year-old, I was so excited because I was like, I'm moving to Extreme's hometown. That's so cool, you know. And so when we moved, and they weren't a band at that point, but all the individual members were doing stuff around town. So I literally just like went and like chased them around like
Yeah.
a crazy little 12-year-old
That's
fan.
exactly what I was telling in the last video with Philip. Well, I wasn't telling him, but we were talking about how the music community in Boston is huge.
Yeah.
And it's very close-knit. Everybody knows everybody. And
Yeah.
what other bands were coming out when you were kicking around Boston?
I mean, when we moved, it was 2000, so it wasn't like, I don't really remember much from what was going on. I don't know if it was like a really strong time for music. I mean, I remember
for-
all the new metal coming
Right.
out at that time. And I didn't really care about any local stuff other than that, to be honest.
It's Extreme. So you went to school, went to see Extreme. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I went to middle school, and then I was like, Mom and Dad, take me to that show that I'm too young to get into.
What town?
Newton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You?
Andover, Wilmington area.
Okay.
Super close.
That's so cool. I never knew that.
Do you know? Yeah, that's a great area. I love Newton. A lot of history.
Yeah.
And so then you came out to LA. Did you have any gigs out here that you needed?
Yeah, so basically it happened in like an interesting way. I had graduated and I was, you know, teaching and playing local gigs in Boston, and then I heard about the Iron Maidens who needed a guitar player at that time, so I got hooked up with them and did some gigs with them, so I came out here every once in a while, and I was doing a lot of back and forth, and it was all good, and, you know, I was enjoying myself and whatever. And then I heard that Tony MacAlpine needed a guitar player, so I came out here and did that audition. And once I started playing with him, because I was coming out here and doing back and forth so much, and I had so many friends here by then, and I liked the weather and everything, and I was just like, you know what? I think the next time I just need to stay, because I love Boston. It's too cold for a person from Israel, and this kind of fit really well, so it just made sense after a while.
And at what point did you feel like you made it? Like, wow, I really...
I don't feel like that.
Oh, come on, she's amazing.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not healthy to feel like that. Maybe that's when you
Because you
stop
can
pushing.
keep aspiring.
Yeah,
and keep
I don't
moving
know.
forward.
But I'm definitely, what I can say is like I'm definitely happiest when I feel involved in a bunch of projects and I'm doing stuff and I feel like my time is getting filled with, you know, interesting musical things.
And want to talk about your latest album that's
Sure.
been out?
So my latest album is A Matter of Perception. It's been out for a while, and I got some I was lucky to get some great rhythm section players on it, such as Virgil Donati and Marco Miniman and Stu Hamm and Brian Beller and Achilles Priester. A lot of great people. I'm so fortunate that, you know, they took time out of their busy schedules and were able to do it. And it features some instrumental tunes by
Nice.
me, and yeah, just tried to do justice to the great rhythm tracks on it.
That's pretty amazing. What a crew of people to work with.
Yeah, I was very, very lucky.
Did you ever feel a little intimidated hearing?
Oh, totally.
One of those guys walks through the door and is gonna play with you or record?
Yeah, I mean, luckily the way that it happened was I met most of those people through Tony, and I'd kind of gotten to play with them in different iterations of different bands and stuff, you know, just like little things here and there, like appearances and stuff. So it was good because I knew them as friends enough to, you know, I was still feeling intimidated and you know, kind of young and inexperienced, but at least I had enough of a personal connection to feel like, okay, you know, I feel comfortable enough to ask them to do this, and to feel like I can take my time and do it and not be so freaked out about it that it's gonna affect the result. So it worked out. It was a nice balance of like, I'm definitely gonna be on I'm gonna be in shape for this, but also like I'm not gonna be too scared to fuck it up. So.
Beep.
Sorry.
Tony is pretty cool. I like Tony a lot.
He's great.
He's such a sweetie.
He is. He's definitely the clown on the bus.
So. The clown on the clown bus.
Yes.
Didn't you guys were touring, right? Where did you guys go?
We went to Europe. We did some stuff in the States. Yeah.
Nice. And currently you're doing a Van Halen project? The cover?
Yeah, so I just started.
Cool.
It's super fun. It's hard to do that stuff justice because playing. I don't think anybody but Eddie can do Eddie. Okay. Obviously, but I just recently started an all-female Van Halen tribute. It's called Unchained, and we play a lot of mostly older Van Halen stuff and some Sammy era stuff, and it's really cool.
And what do you have going on in the near future? Are you working on another album, writing and?
Yeah, so I'm writing for my third album, which I don't know. I mean, I'm really enjoying the writing process, but I'm trying not to rush it, although I do still want it to be within a realistic time frame. I'm doing the Van Halen stuff. I'm doing some clinics and solo stuff with my band that plays my music, and just trying to stay busy.
Cool. Yeah. And I'll just ask you one last question. It's kind of possibly a little bit of a repeat of what would you say to a young person in the middle of, I don't know, the back country of Alaska? What would you say to that person if they wanted to get into music?
Well, I guess to the person in Alaska, I'd be like, utilize the internet. No,
because social media is really...
It's huge. Yeah, we would have never heard of so many people that we know about now. You know, it really does provide it. Because, I was lucky that my parents moved. I would have been stuck in a small country trying to figure out, if that could be a realistic thing. And that really changed the game. And, I was in a unique situation, but had I not been, I don't think I would have ever considered it as a career, because I would have probably just assumed that it's not possible.
Right, exactly.
So, but I think in general, probably like in any industry, working hard and being a good person is probably, those are still good things,
Yep.
So I think that's what's most important.
It is. And if you weren't going to pursue or weren't a successful guitar player, what do you think you would be doing?
I'd probably go into some sort of social science thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you a brainiac?
I don't like to read enough for that.
Is she being modest?
No.
Bookworm?
No. I really don't like to read very much. But I will say that when I do read, it's mostly like nonfiction, and it is like, something about psychology or, something like that, or, the mental game of performance or just things like that. Because I've never been like super into, I don't read like a lot of novels or something, but when I do read, it's mostly stuff like that,
Cool.
So.
Well, we have a special treat. Nili's going to play for us, and we're really excited. Thank you so much for coming by the studio. And this is Nili Brosh. And don't forget to check out her website, nilibrosh.com, and all other social media outlets. This is Lisamarie Costabile for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth.